Hey guys, so here's a quick follow through what happened today. Don't even know. I'm not even clear what I this part of the algo. Juan has a little bit more knowledge than me, and it's all about this specific area that says trailing max drawdown. We usually don't use it, right? I focus only on the following, right? I focus only on maximum profit value, so on and so forth, and I put 3 grand, and I'll hope for the best. Because I thought that this thing right here will close all trade once it hit 3,000 bucks, and it seems like that is not the case. It's basically telling the system, hey, once you hit 3,000, do not take any further trades from there on. Keep the open position until you either get stopped out or the target is hit, whatever, something like that. I don't even know. I need to figure that out. But anyways, Juan will explain that for us. For the purpose of what happened today, I went to trailing max drawdown, and we picked the daily strategy profit amount, and this is what happened today, which is mind-boggling. So today I had it at, hey, if you give me 3 grand, give me 3 grand. I'm assuming that's the case. But on this area of the trailing max drawdown, this is what's going on. I'm telling the system in here, hey, once you hit $1,200, I do not flatten activation. Basically, if I click that, it will close the trading there. I think that's what it's going to do. So basically, it's the way that you see it here, me setting it up. I say, hey, once you hit 1,200, activate the maximum drawdown value of 800. I'm saying once you hit 1,200, if you give back 800, close the trade. In other words, this is the value that you are giving the system permission to lose back on a drawdown and then close the trade. You're not willing to give back more than this amount after 1,200 is hit. You can say, hey, 1,300 to be specific. And once you have 1,300, if the system hits in 1,300, immediately from 1,300 on, let's say that it stopped at 1,300 and he gives back 800 bucks, it will close you with 500 profit. However, if it hits 1,300, it keep climbing 2,000, 2,500, 2,600, whatever, 2,800, and all of a sudden the markets start coming back down, 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 down. From the 2,800, if you give back the $800 of drawdown, it will close the trade and you walk away with 2 grand. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So in this case, I had it set it up, as we discussed with Juan, because I don't even know the change that this produced in the Nasdaq template by protecting, by just not giving more than at least this specific number, 800, could be 700, could be 500, whatever you want. By not giving more than this number, it's just forcing each trade taken by the algo to protect a certain amount of profit, forcing you to just plain and simple restart the algo again if you want to, which is what we did. I did, at least in this week. And this thing start all over again, and it's going to start all over again. It's going to start looking for the next trade. Once it hit 1,300, it's going to protect 500 out of the 13 because it's not allowing to give more than $800 back. Does that make sense? So anyway, this is the outcome. This is the whole thing. We will try to go in a little bit more deep detailing here, but this is a big, huge feature. Now let me show you what happened today. All right, so I'm going to start today. We did that. And here's an example. So here's 9:30, the market just going. I'm trading 5 contracts, spread it out on 5 brackets. Is this the template that one gave me? As it is, I did not came up with shit or none of that. I just plain and simple follow it through. And just the only difference though is that I sat down and documented and detailed everything that I saw, how I saw it, why I saw it, and changes and things that could be fixed or whatnot later on. I didn't temper with anything. So the market opened. Look at that. It went as high as about roughly almost 2 grand. And guess what? It started coming back down. And once it dropped, once it gave back 800 from that maximum high water profit, it closed everything, protecting 1244. You can see on the top side, max drawdown of 800 have been given back and all trade has been closed. Does that make sense? Pretty neat. So that was by 9:30, like within a minute. Beautiful, right? So I immediately went in and pressed F5, refresh, which is kind of the hack. So basically I click F5 and it just refreshed the system immediately and re-enabled it. And this was the next trade at 9:41. Took the next trade, went as high as 1800 or something. Once it gave back the 800, I walk away with $1,000. See it right there? Pretty freaking awesome, isn't it? Right? Look at that. So drawback. So 2 times, 2 runs back to back. The system is giving profits, but it's not allowing to give back more than we're allowing to. In this case, $800. Trading 5 minis would be $80. Trading 5 micros. So I re-enable it again after 9:44. Again, went long, went as high as 1800 and block in 1200. Did not give more than $800 back. Protected me, forcing me to protect that profit potential for the 3rd time in a row. But man, you could have let it open and do your thing and it will hit the profit. I thought so too. We had a second one running with open profits and whatnot. It did amazingly well. However, here's the thing. Through the process of the market moving up and down, in this instance over here, we probably would have been stopped out depending on the trail stop. In here, I would have been stopped out depending on the trail stop or give back. Or I would have went long in here and then got stopped out. So I noticed that it's allowing me to block in, for some reason, more consistent profit. So far we have taken 3 trades back to back, 100% success rate. 1, 1200, 1000, and another 1200. So we're what? 4,400 by 9:56 and I'm done. And the reason being is because as the market progresses, you see it's closing the first bracket, then the second bracket and whatnot. Here's the kicker. This is the reason why we think it's working so massively awesome. Every time that is protecting the profit, like in here, it's forcing me to start all over again with 5 contracts again. And I'm just allowing it to do its thing because as soon as it surpasses with 5 contracts over 1200 or 1300, whatever that is, immediately it's going to protect at least $500 of those money, right? Because of the 800 drawdown trail configuration. So that's pretty neat. So I enable it again, sideways. I went into $1,000 loss. Went as high as about 1300 and blocked in again, right? That was the watermark that I set it up and it protect my $500. That's the worst, right? Sweet. So I enable it again after 10. Boom. So it took a loss, back-to-back loss, $2,000 loss, and immediately one single swift went as high as 2 grand. And once it start kind of giving back $800 off that, guess what? Protecting 1,400 for me, right? So next one, this one hit the $3,000 maximum profit in one single swift. Beautiful. About 10.51. And then I enabled it again. It took a loss, about a 1,500, recovered back, went as high as $2,000 again from minus 2,000. So it made about what, $4,000, and protected again 1,200, right? So protect my profits again. Then I enable it again at 11. Let me go back. So I took the whole move up and then enabled it again. Went short and it hit my $3,000. Enabled it again after 11.25 at 26. It went drop 800, came back 1,600, enabled the drawback and protected $1,000 for me and closed everything for me. Each time that it closes, it's forced me to think, right? Should we take? Should I continue? Should I keep going on? Whatever. But either way, we're treating each trade as an actual independent opportunity. Every time that it plays a trade now, by using this technique or enabling this feature, it's forcing us to basically treat each trade as an independent trade opportunity, which is mind-boggling. Today, in all instances, the worst case scenario was about $500. So I can enable this thing, walk away, and know for a fact it's going to trail, it's going to recover, and it's going to protect. Yeah, but you're going to fail by not maximizing. I don't care, as long as it's going to protect my funds. Does that make sense? So that's what I noticed. So 11.31, started again, boom. Sideways, choppy, crazy stuff. Went as low as 4,500. Recovered the whole thing. High water mark. It immediately says, dude, we just recovered the whole thing. We went over 1,200. I'm protecting your funds and your ass. Boom. Once you lose back 800, close everything down for me. This is what I mean. I'm losing. Once I'm protecting, once above a certain threshold, it's going to protect it for me. It's not going to give back that money, all the money after a certain threshold of profit. Does that make sense? It's not like in this case, we started on a loss, so that's okay. That's part of the deal. It's not the optimal situation we want to be in, but hey, you know how it is. This thing is going to recover it, and then it's going to protect. And I know for a fact I will have higher probability of not closing the day on a losing streak. That's all I care about. Enable it again, 12.32. It hit a $2,000 again. Are you noticing a pattern? We're noticing that every time 5 contracts, it hits the $2,000, $2,000 before coming down again. Pretty interesting. So anyway, went from 1,500 to $2,000. That's about 3,500 recovered, and he protected 14.26. Freaking awesome. 1 o'clock, and then at 2 o'clock, enable it again, 124, single swift move, boom, beautiful. Again, $2,000, and then start coming down, taking a little bit of a breather, and this is the same. Now I'm not giving back more than 800, close everything, another 13 on the bank. Enable it again. It went high, down, and it protect 652 from the high water mark after breaking the 1,200 mark at that point. Once it gave back 800, I walk away with that much. It was a little bit more, 1,400. Remember, from the higher water mark, it just trails a stop, just like the funded account, which is where the whole idea came on when Juan talked to me about it, which is awesome, by the way. This was the outcome today by trading 5 contracts on the same process that I showed you, back to back. And the only thing that was done differently was that I put a $3,000 in there. I don't even know how this works, but anyway, in this instance, daily strategy profit amount, once it hit 1,200, it activates the trailing max drawdown. In other words, as the market makes more profit or makes profit, higher profits from 1200, it's going to trail 800s back. And if the market push back or gives back $800, it will close everything, protecting our fund. I know it's a long video, just wanted to share what that was happened today. It's interesting to see the fact that it is a very, very powerful feature. We just need to learn how to make the most out of it, right? We were focusing on the triggering and the logics and the whole thing. That's beautiful that we got that covered. Now we are focusing on this one, on this part, because for me this is important. And finally, the next thing that we were considering doing, right, is the following. I just reached out to the coder and I just asked something very interesting, right? I talked to Juan and I said, we were talking about the same thing. I said, hey, here's a quick question. Wouldn't it be awesome if every time that it hits a maximum drawdown, instead of me having to reload, re-enable it, in this case, like click the Omega Boost thing, turn it on, turn it back on. In this case, press F5, which is the hack shortcut. F5, it will reload the whole thing and it start immediately. That's a very nice fail-safe because it's just forced you to think, hey, should I go in? Let me check the OT. Oh, it looks good. Let me enable it again. That's pretty sweet. However, we're asking for a feature where we want to ask if we can have this specific feature embedded completely independently on each one of the brackets here in the part that says trailing stop loss mode. So it will have like a that mode of I don't know what the name of it is, trailing max drawdown, right? Have a trailing max drawdown but independently on each one of the brackets, so that we can treat each trade completely independent. Because right now, what this is doing is trading based on the strategy. So I enabled it, boom, and it just takes a trade, and once the 800 down, it just closed the whole thing. I just wanted to do the following. I just want to say, hey, I'm looking for $6,000. This is the maximum trail down. This is a protect, this is the trigger. Give back this much and trail it as we go along. Every time that this is hit, I don't need to refresh. It will automatically continue for the next trade. And it start all over again automatically. That's what I'm asking to see if it's worth doing or not. I already know that he's the coder. He's also our consultant. He's probably going to say, I think that's redundant, but nevertheless, it would be awesome for us to be able, right? Let me go back. Be able to, hey, we'll go in. This is done, and it will immediately, I don't know how it's going to be done, but it will close the whole thing. It will not tell you 800 hit. I have no idea how it's going to do it, but basically it's going to close the whole thing and it's going to look for the next trade. Boom. It's going to close the whole thing, going to look for the next trade. Boom. The drawdown hit, close the whole thing, looks for the next trade. Close, looks for the next trade, close, looks for the next trade, boom, maximum profit goal hit, it will stop the whole thing together. You see where I'm going with that? So the other thing would be, hey, I'm looking for $3,000. In this case, hey, maximum drawdown hit, I lock in 1200, next it will look for the next trade. I locked in another 1,000, so I'm what, 2200. Next trade, I lock in 3 something and it will close everything saying maximum $3,000 goal hit. See what I'm going with this? So that's the next idea. I have no idea what he's gonna say, but I just wanted to share this with you as part of the evolution of what we're doing. Long video, but I hope you understand what we're after, and something that you can probably apply. Play along with it. Don't ask me too much. One would be more beneficial to know how this freaking thing works. Specifically, the way that I have it is 3150. That's what I like. Once you hit 1200, protect. Don't give more than here. I mean, 800 is what he had. I like to put 7. Don't give more than 7. And yeah, that's it. That's all there is to it. All right. With that being said, thank you very much. Let me know your comments, and always share on the community base as well, please. Cheers. Bye.